Okay, so why is it important that we learn to tell the time? Who can tell me? Why is it important? Yeah?
In case you missed like an airplane and you didn't know what time it went.
That's right. If you turn up at the airport and they didn't have what we call digital clocks, see here, up here where it says 11:08, that's a digital clock. That's easy to tell the time on. But what if you turn up somewhere and there's what we call an analog clock? That's an analog clock. What would happen if you turn up there and you're at the airport and you need to catch your flight and you don't know what the time is? This is why it's important that we learn to tell the time, and we learn to tell it both on the digital clock and on the analog clock. Alright, so this clock, it's not even really a clock, it's just a circle, but this is going to help us to learn how it all works. So, on a normal clock that you see, it usually, like our classroom clock, it usually has 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it has little dots around the outside. Now, those big numbers that you can see, up to 12, they're what we call the hours. So, that is like these here. Okay, so hour. Alright, so that's on the outside. Now, on the inside, these little ones, they're minutes. How many minutes are there in 1 hour? How many minutes are there?
60.
There are 60 minutes in 1 hour. And there's 60 seconds in 1 minute. Dante, I hope you're listening. So every time, so if the clock, I'm going to make some blue ones. So that can be my, I want to make this one, smaller. Okay. So there's my little hand. And I want to make my big hand.
There actually is big ones.
Oh.
And it just keeps them.
There is a big hand. We call them hands. They look like arrows. They're hands. So there's a big one and a little one. Now, the little hand always goes on the hour that it is. The little hand goes on the minutes. So, looking at the time now, it says 11:11. So I need to
Oh, the AM.
our digital clock. So I need to turn this. Oh, that's not. It's not letting me turn it like I wanted to. Anyway, I'm just going to draw them in. Yep, draw my arrows in. Okay, so if it is 11:11, where would our hour clock go? If the time, it says 11:12 now. If it's 11:12, where would the hour hand go?
To 11.
Now, is that going to be the big hand or the small hand?
Big hand. Little hand.
The little one.
What?
The little one always goes to the hour. The little one always goes to the hour. So,
You've got a pin.
that's going to be my little one. And if it's 12 minutes past 11, or it's 11:12, as you can see up there, where would the big hand go?
To the 12.
To the 12 what?
12 hours.
The 12 hour.
The 2 hours. 12 minutes.
How many minutes is it? It's 12 minutes past 11, isn't it? So, over to the 12.
Yeah. Whoa.
Now the big hand, it always goes around on all the minutes. On all the minutes. When we get to 30 minutes, when we get to 30 minutes, it's half the clock.
And when we get to 12:30, it's half of the clock. So that's a half and a quarter. No, that's the half of the clock.
You're not listening. When we get to the 30 or the 6 hour with the big hand, that is half, because 30 plus 30 equals 60. So if I had 60 and I halved it, I would be left with 30. So it's halfway. It also does quarters, the clock. Here's a question for you. When the big hand gets to the 15, this side is past, this side is 2. It'll be 11:15. But it's also quarter past, because that there is a quarter. Yeah. So a clock can be cut into halves and quarters to help us to understand. So how many minutes are there in 1 hour? Brooklyn. How many minutes are there in 1 hour?
60.
That's right. How many? And actually, a clock is also, you can see here, when you're cutting up to minutes, there's 5 here, 10, 15, 20 minutes. So that's 20 minutes past. That's 25 minutes past, 30 minutes past, until you get back up to 60. So you can actually skip counting 5s for each of the hours. That can help you as well, because quite often, as you see on our clock there, we don't have the number of minutes. But I know that between the 12, so I know, I can look at this clock, it's just after quarter past now, but let's say it was on the 3, which means it would be quarter past. Looking this way. Kendall? When it gets to the 4, I know that that's 5 minutes. So when that big hand gets to the 4, I know that it's 5 minutes, because each of these, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. I know that there are 60 minutes that make up 1 whole hour. All right, so what you're going to do is telling time. Everyone does. We'll just start off as it is. Okay, so what this is asking you is to tell what the time is. So, what hour? Oh, what hour do you think it's on? Where's it?
It's 2.
It's
2.5 hours.
What's it closest to?
The 6.
The bit. Hey, you're not listening. The little hand always points to where? The hour. So what is the hour? It's 2. So that's where you go down and you go 2 hours. See how it's changed up there? Now how many minutes?
25.
Let's count from the 12. So you've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. All right, so what's the time?
2:25.
It's 25. You can say 25 past 2. You can say 2:25. You can say it both ways. Right, should we check it to see if we're right?
Yes.
All right, next one. Let's have a look. What is this? Small hand is on the what hour?
7.
Is it on the I don't think it's been 7 o'clock yet though. This is where it gets tricky. 6 hours. How many minutes?
9, 10, 50, 20, 25, 30, 35, 45, 50, 45, 50.
Let's count. Okay, ready? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 45 minutes. So what's the time? 6:45. What else can you say this is called?
45.
It's actually
45 past 6.
45 minutes past 6, or it can be 6:45.
What?
Because there's only 1/4 to go until it reaches 7 o'clock. 6:45.
I don't even know what that number is. Because my mum's like, it's 1/4.
Yeah, that means you've only got 1/4 of the clock to go. That's 15 minutes.
Oh, that's weird.
That's what it means. Because remember, I cut the clock into quarters, so that means you've got 1/4 of the clock to go till it's that hour.
This looks hard.
Right, go and get your iPads. Let's see.